So, you want to be a mechatronics engineer. After all, being at the forefront of robotic innovation and trailblazing the future of machinery is pretty awesome. Let's debunk the public myths of what it means to be a mechatronics engineer and give it to you straight. This is the reality of mechatronics engineering. To start, you might be asking yourself, what is mechatronics engineering? Mechatronics engineering is a dynamic blend of mechanical, electrical, and computer engineering that runs everything from the acrobatic advancements of the Boston Dynamics robot to the Google Nest system that watches over your home at night. But what exactly do they do? In a nutshell, you can find a mechatronics engineer applying their exceptional circuits, mechanics, and programming skills to develop the cutting-edge machinery and robots that are revolutionizing the world as we speak. More specifically, they determine how to connect a central electrical brain, like a microcontroller, to a number of mechanical devices that accomplish a set of goals, much like how your brain controls your fingertips to type out a text message. In the mechatronics world, the goals are a little different. This could be NASA's Robonaut exploring foreign worlds, or an oxygen system on a submarine carefully monitoring and regulating the air supply that keeps the crew alive and happy. But before we dive deeper into what makes the designs and practices of mechatronics engineers so impressive, we'll explore the university coursework that prepares these engineers to devise such ingenious products. As you might have guessed, mechatronics engineers are known as the engineering jack of all trades that dip into all three of the mechanical, electrical, and computer engineering toolkits. Not surprisingly, their coursework reflects this and is something of an engineering Swiss Army knife. The curriculum track can be divided into three main areas of focus: foundational subjects, computer and electronics topics, and design courses. A quick note that each university structures their curriculum a little bit differently, so don't get concerned if you don't see the exact track that your university offers. Now, let's get right into it. The courses in the foundational subjects will throw you right into multivariable calculus, statistics, differential equations, chemistry, mechanics, static and dynamic systems, property of electricity and magnetism, and introductory programming in Python, Java, or MATLAB. Oh yeah, and you can't forget hydraulics and pneumatics. But don't worry. All of these don't happen at once, and we'll be here to give you everything you need to successfully navigate each class. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Anyways, we've grouped all of these classes together because they are essentially weeder courses that provide base-level knowledge in their respective subjects. Once you finish these foundational courses, you get to start the real fun, leading us right to the electronics and computer section. Here, the circuits courses will solidify your understanding of resistors, capacitors, and inductors, then move on to more advanced devices like active transistors and diodes. Without this circuitry, controlling motors and other crucial mechanisms that actually get your machine to move would be impossible. And if you built a robot that doesn't move, you probably didn't build a very good robot. Students will also take essentials of computer organization, networking, and digital logic, which explain the concepts and practices that come with intricate computer systems. To picture this, consider a sophisticated manufacturing line with hundreds of robots, each itself having hundreds of different configurations. In order to keep a system of this caliber well organized and efficient, one must have a bulletproof understanding of computer organization and networks. And now, you've finally clawed your way through the seemingly endless load of equations, algorithms, and free body diagrams. You get to enjoy the fruits of your labor at the exhilarating peak of your degree, the design courses. These courses put all of the prior classes into action by having you brainstorm, simulate, revise, and bring to life a physical design of your own. Imagine it. Watching your passion project come to life through the turbulent phases of design to finally be tested, verified, and given the stamp of approval by your university's most esteemed professors. It is a day most engineers don't forget. And once you come down from that high, a natural next step is to jumpstart your promising career as a mechatronics engineer. Let's head back to our mechatronics nutshell to see what a recent graduate should expect in their daily life. Life-saving surgical arms, spacewalking out of the International Space Station, and bountiful autonomous agricultural systems are all made possible by the four core design aspects of every mechatronic engineering product. These four aspects of design are mechanical and computer-aided design, circuits, programming and digital logic, and physics, math, and algorithms proficiency. Let's take a look at how each of these aspects are used to create the robotics that drive the modern world around us. First, mechatronics engineers use CAD paired with their mechanical know-how to draft, simulate, and actualize every machine of today. The CAD software simulates and 3D models the project, enabling engineers to visually grasp their design and collect data to determine how the unit reacts under various conditions and loads. Instead of waiting around for the repetitive order, build, test, and failure of the design, this process is condensed to a fraction of the time, cost, and effort with CAD software. If you're interested in trying it out for yourself, there is a completely free option called Free CAD that is linked in the comment section below. Okay, getting back to the design, while one mechatronics engineer has been focusing the CAD and mechanical aspects of the product, another has been working on the circuitry that brings it to life. This engineer is tasked with designing the electromagnetic conversions and highways that send positional instructions to the robotic arm. First, these engineers draft, simulate, and execute electrical schematics and circuit boards that iron out the details of the circuits. The finalized printed circuit boards are the culmination of countless hours of simulation, debate, and precise circuit arrangements that ultimately ensure that the instruction signal reaches its destination. But where do these instruction signals come from? How do the mechanical arms know what to do and when to do it? This leads us right into the programming and digital logic portion of the design. A single robotic arm can have thousands of different configurations with its 6 degrees of freedom and diverse grabbing, welding, piercing, and mending capabilities. Attempting to control an arm of this stature with simple electronic communication methods would be like trying to control a fleet of jet planes with a single button controller. Thus, the need for a complex electrical controller comes into play. The basic goal of these electrical brains is to use some form of input information, like current time, user input, or ordered tasks, to execute every single assignment to perfection. Accomplishing this for one robotic arm is tough enough. Could you imagine creating the computer architecture and algorithms necessary to do this for an entire warehouse of distinct robots? This, among every other part of the design, is where physics, math, and algorithms expertise comes into play. Having a solid background in these subjects turn this maze of unknowns into a readily feasible list of to-dos. And with that, you now know the 4 core design aspects of every radical mechatronic engineering product. And the coolest part, as a mechatronics engineer, you can master any and every part of these core design areas. But mechatronics isn't all fancy flamethrower arms and high-tech Roombas. Before we get into all of the enticing parts of the profession, we'll show you the less exciting parts of the job. First of all, being a mechatronics engineer can be very stressful. As the engineering jack of all trades, they can be held responsible for communicating with all types of other engineers and integrating everyone's work together. I don't know if you've ever tried keeping tabs on a team of engineers' progress, but it is no easy task. Doing that and getting each of their subsystems to function cohesively, forget about it. Further, as you might have gathered from the university expectations earlier in the video, these engineers seem to go through as tough of an undergraduate degree as possible. Gaining a meaningful understanding of mechanical, electrical, and computer engineering concepts and practices takes a very determined and creative individual, which many simply won't muster up the energy for. And of course, there is the age-old moral dilemma that overshadows every robotics and mechatronics engineer: when and where robotics should be stopped. Although some don't entertain this school of thought, the moral implications of creating the wrong robot could be, at its worst case, the downfall of humanity as we know it. Becoming an engineer in this field comes with great responsibility to design for the greater good. We trust that you will listen to your gut and engineer with a high moral standard, as we are all held responsible by society to do exactly that. But enough with the formal stuff. Let's get into the desirable parts of mechatronics engineering. To start, mechatronics engineering is objectively really freaking cool. Your friends, family, and most people that you meet will actually take genuine interest in your work, a concept foreign to most other engineering professions. Although some engineers shy away from these types of conversations, having a supportive group of people around you that take sincere interest in your life is a miraculous feeling that does wonders for personal wellness. On another note, these professionals also have the opportunity for a considerable number of potential career paths. They can explore the pathways of electrical, mechanical, and computer engineering professions, which each have subfields galore in them. They can even stay involved in all three by becoming a systems engineer. Because of this, they'll have a ton of options and job opportunities straight out of college. And of course, the payout to being a mechatronics engineer isn't too shabby. Seeing as they make an average of $12.4 thousand a year more than the average engineer in the United States, not to mention with all of the recent AI developments, the mechatronics engineering job outlook is expected to skyrocket, contrary to the popular belief that these jobs will be taken by AI. Now, the money and jobs are great and all, but they mean nothing if you don't enjoy what you're doing. Which leads us to one of the most compelling aspects of mechatronics engineering, the fulfillment. These engineers tend to have great satisfaction reports while creating the diverse population of machines and systems that progress every corner of modern technology. Now, with all of this in mind, would you want to be a mechatronics engineer? We want to give a huge shout out to our team of mechatronics engineers that helped make this video. Do you think you have what it takes to be an engineer? Do you want to check out another engineering deep dive? Check out these videos and subscribe for the best engineering content. See you next time.